In this lecture, I am going to discuss about the inorganic chemistry experiment, potentiometry, estimation of copper using iodometric method potentiometrically, estimation of copper using iodometric method potentiometrically. So what is the aim of this experiment? To estimate the amount of the copper present in a given solution using sodium thiosulfate potentiometrically. So we are going to titrate the solution of copper sulfate using sodium thiosulfate potentiometrically. So which solutions required to us to perform this experiment? So we require given stock solution of the copper sulfate, then we require 0.05 normal sodium thiosulfate solution. That solution should be filled in the burette, that is a burette solution. Then we require, of course, potentiometer because it is a potentiometric titration. For the construction of the cell, we require platinum electrode, calomel electrode, KCl salt bridge. Then we require liquid ammonia, glacial acetic acid, and 10% Ki solution. So large number of the solutions we require in this experiment. Let us see first of all what is the theory behind with this experiment. What is the principle which is involved in this experiment? So in this experiment, in this method, first of all we have to set up a cell. When we are doing the potentiometric experiment, we have to set up a cell, we have to construct a cell. So in this experiment, the cell consists of a calomel as a reference electrode, calomel as an reference electrode, and another electrode which is a sensitive to iodide ion, and the name of the electrode, it is iodine electrode. So we are using the two electrodes here in this experiment. The first one, it is the calomel electrode, saturated calomel electrode, saturated calomel electrode, and second electrode, it is the iodine electrode, iodine electrode. So the cell can be set up in this way, you can see. Okay, so this is the construction of the cell. Calomel electrode, I think, should be represented onto the left hand side, so it is having the negative polarity, and this iodine electrode, it is having the positive polarity. Now in this cell, the change in electrode potential is due to the change in the activities of iodide ion in the solution. Activities of this iodide ion, it is going to be changed, and in this case iodine is liberated, and the liberation of the iodine, it is depends upon the concentration of the copper ions present in the solution. The iodine is liberated here, and the liberation of the IO2 depends upon the concentration of the copper ions present in the given solution. Okay, so this reaction is involved here. This is the titration reaction. Later on we will discuss this reaction. So let us see how to perform this experiment. So first of all, we have to dilute the given solution of the copper sulfate in a 100 ml dilution flask. Suppose that you are given a stock solution of the copper sulfate, unknown solution of the copper sulfate in a dilution flask. See, in a dilution flask. So such a flask it is given to you. That flask, it is a 100 ml dilution flask. Okay, so we can represent this 100 ml dilution flask here, and we are given the solution of copper sulfate here, unknown concentration. Okay, copper sulfate solution, and we have to dilute this solution. Copper sulfate, it is a blue color solution. It is a blue color solution, and we have to dilute this solution with the help of the distilled water up to this mark. Now pipette out 10 ml of the diluted solution in a 100 ml beaker. Okay, in a 100 ml beaker, we have to take 10 ml of this diluted solution. Okay. 10 ml of the diluted solution, 10 cm cube of the diluted solution of the copper sulfate. Then we are going to add the liquor ammonia solution dropwise till the dark blue colored cuproammonium complex forms. Okay, in this 10 ml diluted solution, we have to add a liquor ammonia, liquid ammonia. Okay, we have to add a liquid ammonia solution. Okay, so due to the addition of the liquid ammonia, we should have to be add it dropwise. It should be added dropwise here. So due to the addition of the dropwise of liquid ammonia, what happens? The cuproammonium complex is formed like this: CuNH3 4 2 plus. This complex, it is a cuproammonium complex is formed here, and we have to add 2 or 3 drops in excess of liquid ammonia here. Okay, then later on we should have to add the glacial acetic acid here, glacial acetic acid. Okay, glacial acetic acid we are going to be add here. We should have to add 1 or 2 drops in excess. So what happens here? Due to the addition of the glacial acetic acid, the blue color get disappears. The blue color complex get disappears here. Okay. Then after that, we have to add 10% of potassium iodide solution, 20 cm cube, 20 cm cube of 10% Ki solution. Okay, and stir the solution. Then we have to insert a platinum wire, platinum electrode into this. Okay, we have to insert the platinum electrode here and connect it to the positive terminal of the potentiometer. Let us show this. 1 minute. See, this is the potentiometer here. We already know how to use this potentiometer. You have been used this potentiometer in the physical chemistry experiment. Okay, so now this is the standardization reading. It is given here 1.018, and this knob should be at the bottom position. So when we are taking the reading, it should be in the upward position. Okay, so this reading get disappears. Now there is a negative terminal, positive terminal. So in a beaker, as given in the process, we have to take, as given in the process, in a beaker we have to take, see here, in a beaker we have to take 10 ml of the diluted solution. Okay, so let us write here 10 ml of copper sulfate solution, that is diluted solution. Then we have to add liquor ammonia solution dropwise, or liquid ammonia solution dropwise. The blue color Cuproammonium complex is formed here. Blue color. Cuproammonium complex. Cuproammonium complex. It means ammonia is a ligand here and copper is a metal, copper metal ion, and the complex can be represented in this way. CuNH3 4 2 plus. This complex is formed here. Blue color complex, dark blue color complex is formed here. Then we have to add glacial acetic acid. Glacial acetic acid into this. So due to the addition of the glacial acetic acid, what happens? This blue color complex get dissolved and that dark blue color get disappears. After that, we have to add 20 ml of 10% Ki solution. 20 ml of 10% Ki solution. Okay. So when we are adding the 20 ml of the 10% Ki solution, the color of this solution gets changes. Color of the solution gets changes here. You can see here by adding the 20 ml of 10% Ki solution, then we have to insert a platinum electrode into it. Then we have to insert a platinum electrode in this. Dip the platinum electrode here. Okay. So suppose this is the platinum electrode, we have to dip here. Platinum electrode. This is platinum electrode. Okay. Platinum electrode. Then you can see what is the next step. Take a saturated solution in another beaker. In another beaker, we have to take the saturated solution here. Okay. In the another beaker, we have to take the saturated solution of potassium chloride here. So I would like to represent that here. Okay. Potassium chloride solution. Saturated solution of the potassium chloride. Okay. Now we are constructing here the calomel electrode and dip the calomel electrode here, and which is to be connected. This is the calomel electrode. So this calomel electrode, it is connected to the negative terminal of the potentiometer, this, and this platinum electrode, it is connected to the positive terminal of the potentiometer. And later on, dip the salt bridge. Actually, salt bridge makes the electrical contact between the two electrolytes. So this is the construction of the cell, and this cell can be represented in this way. Saturated calomel electrode onto the left hand side connected to the negative terminal of the potentiometer, see here, and onto the right hand side now, due to the addition of the 20 cm cube of 10% Ki solution, what happens here? There is a formation of this precipitate here. Okay, this precipitate, it is going to be formed here. Then iodide ion is present here. Then I2 supposed to be solid is there, and platinum electrode is there. So iodine electrode is formed here. Okay, iodine electrode, it is formed here. Okay, so after making this experimental setup, later on we have to titrate that solution with 0.05 normal sodium thiosulfate solution. You can see here saturated calomel electrode onto the left hand side, and this is the iodine electrode. As we are adding the potassium iodide which contain iodide ions. Okay, so and there is a I2 is liberated. You can see how it is liberated here. Okay, then we are going to add 0.5 centimeter 0.5 ml of 0.05 normal sodium thiosulfate solution from the burette. Okay, from the burette we are going to be add. When dark yellow solution starts changing its color to pale yellow color, then later at that time we have to add 0.2 cm cube of the sodium thiosulfate solution. See here, I would like to show this. In this here, take the burette here, and that burette it is near to the beaker which contain copper sulfate solution here. Okay, So with the help of the burette, we are going to add here the sodium thiosulfate solution. Okay, we have to add sodium thiosulfate solution here. What is the concentration of the sodium thiosulfate? It is 0.05 normal sodium thiosulfate solution, that is Na2H2O3. Na2H2O3. So when we are going to add the sodium thiosulfate solution, what reaction will be takes place here? You can see the reaction here. See, when we are adding the sodium thiosulfate solution from the burette, the I2 is converted to iodide ion. This reaction will be takes place here with sodium thiosulfate solution. Okay, so in this way we have to perform the experiment. We have to set up the experimental setup in this way, and we have to measure the EMF of the cell every time when we are adding 0.5 cm cube of sodium thiosulfate solution. Initially it is having the very dark color. Okay, once again I would like to show to you this cell. You can see here. Okay, see how to construct the cell. This is very important one in this experiment. So in one beaker we have to take the saturated KCl solution here, saturated KCl solution, and dip the calomel electrode here. This is calomel electrode. Okay, calomel electrode. So in another beaker which is kept onto the right hand side, so first of all we have to take the copper sulfate solution. Given copper sulfate solution, okay, copper sulfate solution, 10 ml, 10 cm cube of the copper sulfate solution. Then we have to add first liquor ammonia. Due to the addition of the liquor ammonia, there is a formation of the cupro ammonia complex. This CuNH3 4 2 plus, this complex is formed. It is having the dark blue color. Dark blue color complex is formed. Then we have to add glacial acetic acid, drop wise, glacial acetic acid. So due to the addition of the glacial acetic acid, what happens? This complex get dissolved and dark blue color get disappears. After that, we have to add 20 cm cube of, okay, 20 cm cube of 20 ml of 10% Ki here, 10% Ki solution. Okay, and then dip the platinum electrode. Platinum electrode. So platinum, it is connected to the positive terminal of the potentiometer. Already I have shown this. And this calomel electrode, it is connected to the negative terminal of the potentiometer. And later on dip the salt bridge here, potassium chloride salt bridge into this. So this is the experimental setup of this experiment. Okay, so you can see here diagrammatically also we have shown here the experimental setup. After this, when we are adding, means when we are titrating that copper sulfate solution with sodium thiosulfate solution from the burette, the dark yellow solution starts changing its color to pale yellow because reaction has been takes place. The dark color, it is due to the I2, due to the I2 which is formed there, and that I2 is going to be react with sodium thiosulfate solution. You can see in this reaction that is shown here. Okay, see here, I2 is reacting with sodium thiosulfate solution and there is a formation of the iodide ion. So because of due to the presence of the I2 in the given solution, the color becomes a dark yellow color. Then And due to the addition of I2, what happens? How I2 is formed? When copper sulfate is reacting with potassium iodide solution, there is a formation of the I2, and later on that iodine is reacts with the sodium thiosulfate solution from the burette. So when we are going to add the sodium thiosulfate solution from the burette, the I2 is going to be react with the sodium thiosulfate solution, and therefore dark color get disappear, and it is converted to the pale color first. Okay, pale yellow color. So when it converted to pale yellow color, then later on we have to add 0.2 ml of the sodium thiosulfate solution. So you should have to take the precaution here. And generally change in color indicates the endpoint is nearer. Initially the solution it is having dark color because of due to the presence of I2 there in the solution. And when we are adding adding continuously the sodium thiosulfate solution from the burette, the color will be changes from dark yellow color to the pale yellow color. Okay. So in this way we can perform the titration, and every time we should have to be note the readings here. Okay. We should have to be note the readings. That is, we should have to measure the EMF of the cell. So let us see the observation table. This volume of sodium thiosulfate solution added. Okay. So this is V0 without addition of sodium thiosulfate solution. We should have to note the readings here. Suppose that the first reading will be here. The first reading will be here without addition of the sodium thiosulfate solution. The first reading it is 0.251 volt. Okay. Then add the 0.5. Okay. Then I think the EMF is going to be decreases. Suppose it is 0.248 volt. Then 1.0 ml sodium thiosulfate solution. The EMF should be goes on decreasing here 0.240 volt. So the EMF of the solution it is going to be decreasing here during this titration. During this titration in between I2 and sodium thiosulfate solution, this Na2H2O3. Actually, this is the oxidation reduction reaction, and there is a formation of this twice iodide. So I2 is converted to iodide ion, means this is oxidation reduction reaction. I2 get reduces, means here I2 plus 2 electron gives 2 iodide ion, and hence the color is going to be changed. Due to the formation of the iodine, the color becomes dark yellow. But when we are titrating it with the sodium thiosulfate solution, the concentration of the sodium thiosulfate solution it is 0.05 molar, and therefore color get changes. First pale yellow color. When there is a pale yellow color appears, then we should have to add 0.2 ml of sodium thiosulfate solution from the burette. So in this way we have to take the readings here. After every addition of 0.5 ml or 0.2 ml, the EMF of the cell goes on decreasing. Okay. Now let us do this calculation delta E. So in this case E1 minus E0 it is written here. We have to take just the difference between the two readings. Okay, this is higher reading, this is low reading, and write that reading here. Okay, similarly here. Okay. So, and difference in volume delta V, difference between these two, it is 0.5. This is constant everywhere. Okay, difference in volume delta V, and delta E upon delta V. This is the calculation part. Okay. Then after completion of the reading, then we have to plot the graph of EMF versus volume of sodium thiosulfate solution added. So you can see the nature of the graph shows that the EMF is going to be decreasing. The nature of the graph shows that as we are adding the sodium thiosulfate solution from the burette, okay, as we are adding the sodium thiosulfate solution from the burette, we are performing the titration here. Okay, and the beaker, in a beaker there is a, we have taken copper sulfate solution here. So copper 2 plus ions are present here. Which ions? Copper 2 plus ion in the solution. And we are adding the 20 cm cube of Ki solution. We are adding the excess 10% Ki. Okay, 10% Ki. So what reaction is takes place here? Copper 2 plus reacts with this iodide ion. Okay, and there is a formation of this complex. I think this complex is going to be formed here. Okay, so CuI4 2 minus, this complex will be formed. Okay, and there is a formation of the I2, and when we are adding this uh, sodium thiosulfate solution from the burette, then this dark yellow color get changes. Okay, so EMF will be goes on decreasing, and this is the equivalence point Vx1. Then we have to plot the second graph also, that is delta E upon delta V against sodium thiosulfate solution. So we are getting here Vx2. Okay, so we have to take the mean of this Vx1 plus Vx2. It is equal to, first of all, you can see here the reactions which are taking place in the copper sulfate solution. We are adding this Ki solution. So there is a formation of this cuprous iodide Cu2I2 or twice Cui. What reaction is takes place here? Actually, see, copper sulfate reacts with Ki solution, 10% Ki solution. This is going to be formed cuprous iodide, precipitate of cuprous iodide. It is formed here. Okay, and I2 is also liberated here, and later on this I2 going to react when we are adding the sodium thiosulfate solution from the burette. Okay, so because of due to this I2, the solution, it is having dark yellow color, and when we are adding the sodium thiosulfate solution from the burette, it is having pale yellow color will be changes here. And during this process, EMF will be goes on decreasing. Every time we have to note the readings here. Okay, as per the observation table. So see here the calculation part, it is very simple. From the two graphs, we have to determine Vx1, Vx2, taking the mean and calculate Vx here. Okay, then that Vx value should be kept here in this formula, and according to this we can determine the amount of copper present in the given solution. Amount of copper present in the given solution. Okay, see here. Then in the result, volume of sodium thiosulfate solution required for the titration of 10 ml of the diluted copper sulfate solution. So that is Vx here. We have to write Vx from the two graphs. Take the mean, and that is Vx. And amount of the copper sulfate present in the given solution. Using this equation, we have to put here Vx. So we can determine the amount of the copper present in the given solution. So in this way, we can perform this experiment. So in this experiment, systematically, we have to take the readings. Okay. Systematically, we have to take the readings here. We have to measure the EMF of the cell by constructing a cell here. You can see once again this diagram. See here. Okay. We have to construct the cell here. On the left hand side, take the calomel electrode deep into the saturated potassium chloride solution. Onto the right hand side, take the copper sulfate solution, add liquor ammonia, then add glycyl acetic acid, then add 20 cm cube of Ki solution. So when we are going to add the Ki solution here, this reaction is takes place. You can see this. Copper sulfate reacts with Ki solution and formation of this precipitate. Cuprous iodide precipitate is formed here. and I2 is liberated here. And because of due to the liberation of the I2, the solution it is having dark yellow color. Okay. And the EMF of the cell it is going to be decreasing here. Observation table, we have written some readings here. The EMF of the cell goes on decreasing here. And this graph also shows that when we are going to add the sodium thiosulfate solution, EMF of the cell it is going to be decreasing here. So in this way, potentiometrically, we can determine the amount of the copper present in the given solution. Amount of the copper present in the given solution. So for that purpose, we have to construct the cell. And with the help of that cell, by performing the titration with sodium thiosulfate solution from the burette, we can record the EMF, we can measure the EMF, and after plotting the graph, we can determine the equivalence point of the titration, and that Vx should be kept into the equation, and we can determine the amount of the copper present in the given solution.